Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Sigval here, welcome back to another video. In this one I'm going to attempt to do a little bit of a beginner guide for Just Mobile for the year 2023. I think I want to mention at the start is that this is going to be a guide that's going to focus on interacting with the different systems in the game, but not about combat itself. I'm gonna have a section about combat right at the start of the video because that's gonna more or less involve all the systems, but it's gonna be like a bare bones guide, and I'm gonna have a separate fighting guide eventually released because that's a whole different system that's going to require an entire video of itself because it goes very deep, though you can get the basics very fast. But yeah, all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. So the combat system in this game goes pretty deep, but at the same time, if you want to do the bare minimum, that shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to attempt to show you first the basic combo that you're going to be able to do, which is 3 taps swipe right, 3 taps swipe right, and after that we have a choice that I'm going to talk about. So let's go. We're going to first wait for an opportunity. 1, 2, 3 swipe, 1, 2, 3 swipe, and we tag out and back up. Okay, that's good. So you're going to do 1 to 3 taps swipe right, 1 to 3 taps swipe right, and then you have a choice. Basically 2 choices. You're going to either tap the screen one more time, which is not going to do anything as far as your character goes, but it's going to ensure that when you tag in another character by pressing on the left side of the screen, that tagging is not going to be interrupted if you tap one last time after finishing your combo. But keep in mind you need to finish your combo, which is going to go either 3 taps swipe right, 3 taps swipe right, or swipe right, 3 taps swipe right. And the thing is, the combo is going to usually finish, there's some exceptions to this, after your second swipe right for most characters, and at that point if you tap one more time on the screen, you're going to guarantee your tagging. Or rather than tapping one more time on the screen, you can use a special to end it off. And that's basically the whole idea of playing the game. It's knowing when to start the combo, and let's see, when do we start the combo here? Okay, she's gonna die. Okay, so we got this man here, right? We're going to do a swipe right into a special too. So what I basically did there, well, after the enemy uses a special that you're going to block, you're blocking that special. If you're in range to engage that specific hit on them, then they are not gonna block, though you need to be a bit fast about it. So after a special, it's safe to try to engage a combo on the enemy. You should not hit the enemy while they are blocking. You should find an opportunity. Another opportunity that I'm not really sure it's going to show up here is when the enemy does a swipe towards you that you're going to block. After that, they're going to, for the most part, be vulnerable. Okay, so let's see what happens here. He's stunned, but I'm gonna let him get out of the stun. Also, something that you're seeing me... yeah, let's talk about it while the super move plays out. Something that you're going to see me spam the block button. You're going to have some distance from the enemy, right? By spamming the block button, you're going to be able to slowly approach the enemy rather than teleporting in front of them. Right now, the enemy's got no energy, so yet again, it's safe to engage a combo. You should never hit the enemy while they're blocking. So swipe right to get enraged, swipe right again, special to stun. You should have Batman yourself. I think it's a character you unlock by default when you install the game. Okay, let's block here. They are kind of gonna die. See, she did swipe towards me, so that was safe for me to engage, and now I'm going to do a combo. And she died. There we go. Look, the fighting system goes far more in depth, and I'm most likely gonna release a full video for it, but if you manage to tag in and out and know when to begin a combo, that's the bare minimum you're going to need from this guide, okay? One of the first systems you're going to be introduced to, it's going to be the campaign. The campaign is going to have 2 modes, normal mode and heroic modes. Now, you should complete the entirety of the campaign for a very good reason. because for every heroic that you clear, or for every couple of heroics that you clear, I don't remember if it's for each or for each 2 or each 4, but there's gonna be gems in the achievements. This is kind of the most valuable currency in the game. There's gonna be gems in the achievements as soon as you start clearing heroics. In order to unlock heroics, you need to advance in the normal modes. So what you want to do is clear normal mode, then switch into heroics, fight those, and then go into achievements and get your gems. We're going to talk a bit more about how to spend your early gems later on, but that's the main goal of the campaign. Also in heroics, if you farm specific fights, you're going to be guaranteed to get shards for the specific character that you can see the portrait of over here. So none of the characters in the campaign are specifically worth farming. That's something worth mentioning. Another thing is that in the early stages of the game, like I have a lot of surplus energy because I no longer really need the things that I can get by using energy, because you're going to, as you progress your account, get them from other places. But early on, it's very important to spend all your energy. Don't let your energy pile up. You go ahead and you go into heroics and you fight the most further fight that you have unlocked. For me, for example, be heroic 8. You're going to clear this either fighting manually or with Simpex, because as soon as you do this, you're going to get some credits and some gear pieces that you can shatter in order to get gear materials and gear reforges. Those 3 things, gear pieces, giving you gear reforges and gear materials, and credits, are going to be the things that you need the most to upgrade characters. So never let your energy pile up and farm campaign as far as you have gotten. Just take it from the furthest point and advance downwards to get yourself some rewards. Let's talk a bit about your roster. This is where you're going to see your characters, and this is where you can fine-tune them before they actually enter combat. Now let's go all the way to, let's say, Batman, because you're going to get this man when you start the game for free. First of all, let's take a look at his abilities. Each character is going to have a passive and 3 specials, or multiple passives. There are characters that have 3 passives. Fitness passive is going to be Ambush, which gives crit chance to the entire team. We're going to get into what crit chance means in a moment. But those specials are going to get upgrades as soon as you level them up. For example, he's like level 60 right now. The maximum level of the ability is going to be dictated by the maximum level of the character. Now let's see if we increase XP here. I don't want to give him all of them. Give him the generic ones. Yeah, that's good. Going to apply here, by the way, when you increase the XP of the character, use their class-specific XP things or the generic ones. Never use all of them. This is a huge mistake, because if you use a class-specific type of resource, you're going to get a huge boost as far as using them goes. So using all of them on a character, it's a huge waste. Even though you're going to progress slower with that character that you're only using that specific thing, it's going to tremendously help you in the long run if you only use the class-specific ones for specific characters. But yeah, we got him an additional level. Now we go back to the abilities, and upon upgrading abilities, you're going to get yourself more damage and enhanced effects if the abilities have. For example, this has increased time duration, and this thing has nothing except for raw damage, which is also going to be increased. Generally speaking, it's a waste to upgrade all the abilities in the early parts of the game. Like, look, I have a ton of credits, and you're going to get yourself in time to that point as well, where credits are no longer a problem. But until that point comes, you should really be careful with what you spend your credits on. And abilities are something you should definitely spend your credits on, but only the ability that you're going to use. I think I do have a guide that I did a long time ago on which ability to upgrade on each character first. But you just get into a fight, use your abilities, and see what seems to be more useful. If you can't find that video, or if you don't want to watch it, just see what you're mostly using and upgrade that, because it's a huge waste of credits to upgrade all the abilities and then to be just simply using one of them after you find out which one is the best. Find out which one is the best first and then only upgrade that one. Now going into talents. Talents are going to be something that you're going to unlock as you increase the star rating of the character. And you're going to get a free reroll on the characters each day. and you're going to be able to swap them around. I don't care about this one, he's not really built on my accounts. But after you do that free refresh, and again you have a free reroll on each character, you're going to have a price tied to it. It's going to be 5,000 for silver characters, 7,500 for gold characters, and 10,000 for legendary characters. You should not interact with this, not at all, because talents are something that's somewhat important and you should eventually get a good build, but talents are going to be a huge waste of time because it takes a long ass time to get yourself perfect talents, and at the same time they're going to be a huge waste of credits. The amount of credits you're gonna have to spend is enormous to get good talents. They're in 3 rarities. They're gonna be common, they're gonna be rare, and they're going to be epic. And it's gonna be legendary for like the 7 talent, which you unlock at 7 stars, but that uses a different currency, which I'm not even gonna get into this video because it's too far off for you to worry about at this point. But the problem is, as I said, it's gonna be a huge price for very, very little return. You're gonna get such a bad return if you save up your credits in order to upgrade your abilities and in order to star up your character. In order to start up your character, you're going to need some specific shards for that character. You can get those shards from different places depending on the character. Generally speaking, chests, arena seasons, converting champions arena shards, but we're going to get into that. But yeah, you should save up your gems for starring up characters and upgrading their abilities, because that's going to be the most important thing to do with credits. Or if I said gems, but that's the most important thing to do with credits. Now getting into the gears. Gears are going to be something that you can upgrade all the way up to level 70, and it's also going to be something that you can have some certain rolls on, and mess with those rolls, try to get something better for it. As a general advice, it's going to be different builds for different characters, but there's 2 things worth mentioning. First of all, on the gear side of things, never get yourself crit resistance or stun resistance, because they're going to be by far the worst talents. Also avoid lethal attack chance, because lethal attack chance is going to be something that's going to be good for some specific characters, and there's very few of them, and for all the other characters it's going to be for the most part useless, so avoid that. Also, if you want to build your character in a certain way, you should focus on your percentage values. Now getting into the stats, talking about the percentage values. The percentage values are going to be crit chance, crit damage, defense, resistances, blocking, don't worry about it, it's only on the talent and you should never get blocking, and fast actions. I'm gonna briefly explain all of them. Crit chance is going to be your chance to hit a crit damage hit. This is the chance for a crit to happen. Now, crit damage dictates by how much the damage of your hit is going to be increased whenever you hit a crit chance. So this is a chance for it to happen, and this is how strong it's going to be when it happens. Lethal attack chance works in the exact same way as crit chance. The only problem is you're not going to be able to get a lethal damage modifier on the build until the 7th talent at the very least, and that's far too little in most situations. So don't worry about lethal chance, just don't worry about it for now. Defense is going to dictate the amount of damage it's going to be, the damage you take is going to be reduced by, which is good. That's for normal hits. Now, there's going to be dot hits, which are the purple hits. When there's purple damage on the screen, that's going to be dot damage. That's going to be affected by dot resistance. Stun resistance is going to increase your resistance to stuns, and crit resistance is going to increase your resistance to crit. Now, all 3 of these should not be on the gears. The dot resistance is not even on the gears, because there's a talent that's going to give you, for example, at a rarity, 12% in each of those resistances. So that's a decent talent that you can get, and it's going to sort those things out. So again, don't worry about them on the gears. So we don't worry about blocking and everything that's below this, and we don't worry about lethal attack chance. Now, fast attack chance. Fast attack chance is going to be your chance to trigger a fast attack hit. Now, what is a fast attack hit? The fast attack hit is going to be you hitting the enemy with the normal hit, not with the special. This doesn't work for specials. Hitting them with the normal hit multiple times. And you're going to hit them with the amount of fast attack hits that you have. Most characters have 2 fast attack hits, so if you hit a fast attack chance, you're going to deal double the damage on that basic hit and also build double the combo. The combo is going to be something that's going to give you more damage after you use specials, because we build combo, then we use a special, and that special is going to get the damage increase considering on the combo that you have. Fast attack chance is something that's yet again kind of specific, but not as specific as lethal attack chance. But look, for now, just get crit chance, crit damage, defense on your characters. After you have maxed those out, for starters, yet again, every single character has a specific build that you need to do, but in the early stages of the game, you can't go wrong with crit chance, crit damage, and defense. After you're done with that, you can increase either the attack or the health, depending on what you want to do with the character. If you want him to be a tank, don't worry about crit chance and crit damage. You just need defense and health, and that character is gonna tank. If you want him to be a damage dealer, crit chance, crit damage, and attack. You can add some defense if you still don't play that well and you need the characters to not die. And yeah, now how do you get your materials? Because I've talked about briefly how to upgrade the characters. How do you get those materials to upgrade the characters? Where you're going to hit this button and it's going to shatter duplicate gears. Those gears, as you can see, are, I mean, you can't really see, but you can tell if you take a look in campaign, are gears that are dropped from campaign, like most of them. You're going to press this button and you're going to confirm that you want to share all the gears. And it's gonna give you an amount of materials that's set here, and then it's gonna give you also an amount of reforges which are used to reroll on the gears. Now, briefly about reforges. There's 2 types of reforges, the green reforges and the yellow reforges. The yellow reforges are garbage. I mean, they're not really garbage, they're good, because they're gonna give you a higher chance to get a bigger rarity bonus over here, right? But the problem is, you're going to eventually have plenty of green reforges, and those reforges that are yellow are going to be locked behind gem chests, which you don't want to buy. If I was getting those for free, I would rather use those. But since I'm getting those and they have the same effect, but they simply take a bit more time for you to get the stuff on the gears that you need, it's simply absolutely no reason why you should try and go for those ones. Just be happy with your green reforges, right? Now, where else can you get those reforges and materials? Also, bad timing on this video because soul rates are down, but I'm gonna briefly talk about that later. You're going to go over here and you're going to see a chest maybe, and you might see old videos recommending this chest as being good, having 8k materials and 6k reforges for the 250 gem cost. This is garbage. Do not buy this. Just don't. Be patient. Farm campaign and you're going to get a lot of gear materials from leagues and soul rates. But for now, just don't worry about it and never ever buy this. Now back to the roster side of things. First of all, have a threat number here. And the characters have a number here that's also the amount of threat that they have. This is bullshit and irrelevant. You should never look at this at anything more than a flex. This is a flex. You're just flexing with this number. It doesn't do absolutely anything else at all. When you're going to change talents and change gear rolls, sometimes the thing that's not optimal and not desired on that character is going to give you more threat than the thing that you should actually put. The threat itself doesn't influence the damage of the character or the performance of the character. It's just an arbitrary number that the game gives to the character, and it's not gonna be required for anything. It's not gonna be required to enter any game mode. It's not gonna increase your damage. It's not gonna make you more resilient. It's literally doing absolutely nothing for you. So never chase this. Absolutely never chase this until you're at the point where you're aware and able to chase it for the flex value of it. You're just flexing with this, okay? Just don't mind it. As far as building a team goes, you might be kind of putting all the top 3 characters in your roster in a team and calling it a day and calling that a good team. And that's not a good idea. That's not how you do things. Your strongest 3 characters are almost never your strongest team. You need to look for some specific synergies in between characters. For example, you're going to start with Batman, right? You look at Batman, you look at Batman's passives. It gives crit chance to the entire team. That's great. We have crit chance from there. If we don't have it on the build, that's absolutely great. Another character that you might get yourself early, it's going to be... where is he? I think he's... Arcane. Emerald Green Lantern. Is going to give you a bonus on tagging, and one of them is going to be crit damage. So we see a bit of a synergy between Green Lantern giving you crit damage and Batman giving you crit chance. They're going to support each other in that way, right? And then to top of the team, we're going to put Dr. Fate, for example, because this is another character that you most likely will get early, and this is a very strong support character which is going to reduce the team power bar cost, which is the amount of power bars you need to cast an ability. And there we go, you get a team, Dr. Fate plus Batman plus Emerald Green Lantern. That's a reasonable team for the early part of the game. You need characters that support each other, because you need to have one strong character, let's say, or maybe two strong characters, depending on the team and where you're using it, and you have to support that character and give it resources rather than throwing your best characters in there that deal damage, because they deal a lot of damage, but a lot of times they might need help to deal that damage, and they might benefit from it. And in a team, if you have like two characters who deal damage for the purpose of dealing damage, why would you do that? Like, one of them is enough. You only have 3 minutes in a fight in when it comes to arena or soul raids. You need one character to deal damage because you simply don't have the time or the need to do with two of them. There's roles in the team, and the role of a damage dealer can be accomplished by one single character, and the other members of the team need to be built around that character to support them, okay? So just don't put your three strongest character in a team. Try to think for yourself. I can't think for you because there's a ton of variations in terms of the character you can unlock at the start. So I have no idea what's right now in your roster when you're watching this video, but try to build teams around a specific character. For example, you can have Grots to tank, because he's got the reflective shield. You just press and you reflect the damage of the enemy. And we need a damage dealer, right? Because this man is a tank. We're going to pick up a damage dealer, and after we have a damage dealer, we're going to pick up a support character that's going to help out that damage dealer. Another great support character for the early parts of the game is going to be Silverbane, because Silverbane is going to give you, with his passive, more crit chance, a lot more crit chance, and more damage on basic hits. So yet again, this is another good support character. Keep that in mind. A decent tank for the early parts of the game, which I think you are guaranteed to unlock from the achievements or something like that, it's going to be Armored Superman. Armored Superman is going to give your entire team defense, which is great. He's going to ignore the first special that hits him, and he's also going to have a reflective shield, which again you press and you reflect the damage back to the enemy. That's also great. Yeah, you get the point now? Don't put your strongest three characters in a team because they're most definitely not going to be your strongest team. Now, when it comes to the storage section and spending your gems, this is going to be a bit more complicated because the things that are in here are going to fluctuate. Generally speaking, at the start of the game, you don't want to buy expensive chests. You want to buy cheaper chests because your goal is to unlock as many characters as possible for you to be able to get good rankings in Arena and Champions Arena, and we'll talk about that in a second. But for example, right now we're going to have the premium hero chest. We click on it, we're going to have an 8.4% chance to unlock this man at 2 stars. Atlantic Armor Aquaman is amazing for new players, so that's gonna be good. But at the same time, there's some chests like this that don't have good characters. By the way, Google premium chest tier list if you're interested. I think I talked about all the premium chests here. There's gonna be some featured characters that are really not worth the extra cost, in which case you're going to go for the hero chest. Again, at the start of the game, your goal is to unlock as many heroes as possible for them to be able to help you out rank up in Arena and Champions Arena. And after you're doing well enough in Arena and Champions Arena, you need to stop randomly spending your gems and save them up. Because there's sales that happen, and when a sale happens, you're going to get so much more value out of your gems, and you're going to need a lot of gems to get what you want. So after you're feeling comfortable with your roster, it's a decent roster, you're going to save up for specific sales. Now, there's another thing you should do with your gems, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. This is operations. I have mine updated all the way to level 20, and this is what I'm getting from them specifically as far as increased chances. You can see that it's a 15% increased power gem chance, and it's gonna cost you a lot of gems. I think I did the calculation at some point, but I forgot how much. This is gonna cost you a lot of gems. And you're only going to see the investment out of this, of course, unless you're crazy and you're refreshing it every single 25 minutes. By the way, don't do that, my dude. Go outside, touch some grass, get some friends. But nevertheless, you're going to, generally speaking, get your investment back from this in around 6 months. So if you're here on the long run, the operations are definitely worth the investment, because you're going to get your gems back. By the way, I was kind of blocking that with my face, I'm sorry. But you're gonna get your gems back in like 6 months, and then it's going to be only profit for this. So I highly recommend, if you plan to stick around, if you plan to have fun for a bit and then leave the game, that's totally fine. Don't even bother with the operations. But if you're planning to stick around, most definitely update the max level. Resource missions are going to be something that's going to give you XP capsules. XP capsules, as you have seen, are things that you're going to need to upgrade the level of the characters. And so you're going to do this 3 times a day. And then it's going to enter a cooldown. Now, the first refresh, it's cheap enough. You can justify spending 2 gems on this, but further refreshes are going to be, in my opinion, not really worth the gems. So I suggest you can refresh it only once to get more XP capsules, to get more levels for your characters, and leave it at that. At the same time, make sure to go as much as possible up in the difficulty, because the rewards are so much better, and it shouldn't take you that long to reach max difficulty. This is not that hard, and it's gonna be a little bit of a chore to play through all of them until you get into max difficulty, but after that it's gonna be a very simple process. So yeah, make sure you get to max. Now I have 2 challenges over here. Generally speaking, we have the normal challenge and we have the versus challenge. The versus challenge is gonna, generally speaking, be more difficult and require more gems to refresh than the normal challenge. It's gonna, generally speaking, have stronger characters. Now we're going to see this, which is called refresh difficulty. Should you refresh difficulty, is it more expensive than 50 gems? Then the answer is simple, no. Now, if we go to the other dudes, we have grid here. Let's complete those 2. Again, some of them are going to require some specific characters to complete. Some of them are going to be a bit hard, but you're eventually going to get around it. Discuss 50 gems to refresh it. Do we refresh it? It depends. It depends on the specific featured character, but if there's anything more expensive on the first refresh, then 50 never refresh. And if it's 50, you can justify refreshing each difficulty once, depending on the character, if you really want them or if they're really good. As kind of a general guide, in terms of this, you should, generally speaking, refresh if you see ever an Entangling Poison Ivy challenge or a Batman the Drown challenge. Other than that, you're fine just farming them and don't worry about it too much. Story mode, by the way, go all the way to chapter 8, fight all the fights, clear all the fights, because yet again you go into the achievements and you're gonna get some rewards for clearing those fights. I think all the way until chapter 6 or chapter 4 at the very least is gonna be gems, so that's gonna be amazing. And then you go all the way through here. Make sure you finish all the story. If you want to see the continuation of the story, because they haven't updated this in like years, just watch. It's the same as the console version, just watch the story of the console version. But yeah, make sure you clear all of this, because there's gonna be some rewards in it that you really need. Next up, there's gonna be Arena, which is gonna be a mode that you're going to get a lot of things from. So you're going to fight in this arena, and let me give you a brief summary on how the arena system works. You see this? You're not gonna see this in your arena, because there's a lot of different arenas. When the game updates, there's gonna be a new arena bracket made where all the players are gonna be put in. So that you're going to compete with players that started playing the game roughly at the same time as you did. And there's a ton of specific arena brackets. You can't switch the arena brackets, so if you just install the game, played it for 2 days, and then left the game, try to make another Google account and log in with a different Google account to get yourself into a new arena, because playing in the arena that you were put in when you downloaded the game years ago, it's not going to be fair, because those people have played the game for years and they're going to absolutely destroy you. Now, you're going to be in arena and you might get the question, like, you fight some fights, you get some rank, and then when you log into the game, your rank decreased. That's going to be because your rank depends on the performance of the other players. You're going to basically compete against them in terms of points. You're going to get some milestone rewards, you're going to get some purple things as well, don't worry about them, and you're going to get some tier rewards. I don't remember specifically, but some of them, I think until untouchable, are going to be percentage related, like in the top what percent, and invincible and legendary are going to be for the top 100 or top 50, or something close to that at the very least. So if you, let's say, get Elite 1 and then get dropped down to Competitor 2 when you log back into the game, that's going to be because the players in your arena also got to play the game more and got ahead of you. You're no longer in that top percent, so that's why you're decreasing in rank. As far as rank goes, you should do your best to aim for Elite 1, because each season you're going to get yourself 160 gold characters. 160 is enough to unlock the character at 3 stars, and that's gonna be amazing for your account progress. Do your absolute best to always get at least Elite 1. You might not be able to do this from the very start, but try to work your way up all the way to Elite 1, because there's gonna be an instant reward for it, and you're going to progress so much faster. You're also gonna get some gems and some arena medals from it. And the ideal goal is to get at least Elite 4 every single time. Like, that's gonna be a bit rough depending on the situation, but if you can get Elite 4 every season, that's gonna be absolutely amazing, because you also get, compared to Elite 1, double the shards. This is the first tier where you get double the shards. This means unlocking the character straight up 4 stars. And this is also the maximum amount of shards for the character you can get, and that's kind of the most important thing early on. So if you can get Elite 4, that's amazing. Then if you can't, at least Elite 1, my dudes. You're also gonna get some arena medals. For me, they are kind of useless at this point, but for you, they're not gonna be. By the way, this is the arena store section like right now. Might change in the future. Subscribe for that, because I'm gonna make a video on it when it's changed. But you're gonna have a few characters over here, right? First up, you need to... I'm gonna tell you to begin with which ones are useless. Don't buy Solstier Dr. Fate, don't buy Harley, don't buy Hellboy, don't buy Dark Supergirl, don't buy Horrific Scarecrow to start off with. The only useless ones are Solstier, Dr. Fate, and Harley, and Dark Supergirl. The other ones have their uses. But for the early parts of the game, Predator, Batman, and Atlantean Armor Aquaman are gonna be the most useful for you. Also, you have the gears here for your specific characters that you can buy, and for the characters that are gonna be featured in the arena seasons. So you can get them from here. And for some other characters that you don't have gears for anywhere, like Silver Green Lantern, for example. But yeah, you can get their gears from here. Also, check Arena Store. Whenever you have a character that you don't know where to get the gears for, try to check Arena Store and see if they're there or they are not there. And yeah, as far as hero shards go, Predator, Batman, and Aquaman start off with, because they're going to be the strongest for you overall. Also, they're going to have daily quests and achievements. Achievements are eventually going to complete all of them. But the daily quests, just try to complete them as much as you can, because they're going to give you useful stuff, and they're going to give you account XP. Account XP is going to modify your level over here, and your level is going to dictate the amount of energy you have a day, so that's important. There's also going to be some event calendars and stuff like that, but that's kind of specific to talk about now, but make sure you do all your dailies. The Injustice Mobile Pass is inactive right now, but sometimes it's active, which is basically a seasonal pass, which you can pay real money for to get. But even if you don't pay real money for, you're going to have some specific missions that you can do without paying money. Like, there's going to be a progression line for without paying money, so make sure you take a look at that as well. And kind of the last thing I want to touch upon is going to be Leagues and Champions Arena. I'm not going to talk about too much about soul rates because it's going to take you a while to unlock them, and at the same time they're not active now. The only advice I can give you in terms of soul rates, if you get there and you don't find any other helpful videos, you need to clear only 4 sub-bosses in order to advance a tier. So if you get stuck somewhere, you just skip it and go to next tier. Now, getting into Champions Arena. Champions Arena is not going to be something that's dictated based on... also, I haven't farmed this. Excuse my division. But yeah, that's not going to be set based on the time you have started the game. This is something that expands game-wise, but obviously there's going to be a lot of different random brackets for each different division. Now, seasonal rewards. You're going to be in a certain bracket, and you're going to need to be in top something in order to advance to the next brackets. As you go further in the brackets, the requirements for you to advance will grow, but also the rewards will grow. And you're going to get those things on top of gems. Gems are great, gems are amazing. On top of gems, you're going to get the class shards. The class shards can be converted for specific character shards for that class. They're gonna differ each week, each arena, each Champions Arena season. So for example, right now we have tech. You're going to get 50 tech shards, and you can convert them, for example, for Batman shards. Silver Batman shards, though don't do that. Don't do that for Silver Batman, but that's what you're going to do with those things. And when you advance more, you're going to get prismatic shards. Prismatic shards can be converted for any class of your desire, but not for legendary characters. And it's going to go all the way up to Division 1 Champion. Now, depending on your specific tier, you might need a certain amount of victories to advance. For example, over here, nobody's playing the game in this division, and there's only 11 people. Usually there's 100, but you might need to be in the top 40, top 30, top 50, top 10 even to advance. Just advance as far as you can, and keep in mind that with Champions Arena, you're going to go and look at this and you're going to find opponents. You're going to from time to time find tryhards that have a very strong defensive arena team. Like myself, by the way. Imagine fighting this. Wait a second. Experience for that one, but yeah, you're gonna fight their defensive teams, and sometimes you're gonna find shit like this. You want to avoid this. Just fight the easy teams. This is a game mode that rewards far more the time investment you're able to put than your skill, so you're going to get a lot of gems from this. We're going to get briefly into the league raids as well. This is gonna be how the league raids raid specific thing looks when you fight the bosses. Just don't worry about it too much. Just do your damage and you're gonna be fine. Do as much damage as you can. Look at this as practice for now. For now, as a new player, nobody expects you to contribute, but everybody expects you to try and learn the boss mechanics so that further on you can get better at this and contribute. By the way, don't make your own league. Join a league. I'm not gonna show you the league interface because there's a code that you can copy and try to join this one, and you're just gonna straight up get rejected because this might not be the right league for you, but you're going to be able to join the same league Discord that this league is in, and the link to it will be in the description. So if you need a league, you literally say join here. If you need a league, come here. You're going to be welcome, and we're going to find you a league, okay? But yeah, don't worry about fighting the boss too much. Like, do fight them, do attempt, try to learn their mechanics, but nobody expects you to deal damage, just know that. There's also going to be the shard exchange. You can request 10 shards a day. And don't worry about donating. You actually don't donate. You need to keep your shards. You're a new player and you barely have any characters. Just request every single day. You should request him Flan Sakuman every single day to get him to a higher star rating. But we'll talk about who that specific character is and why he's so strong in a second, because it ties into the second point, which is the League Store. So in the League Store, you're gonna have a few things. You're gonna have some characters here. You're gonna have gears for all those characters, and you're gonna have XP capsules. Look, XP capsules are great. XP capsules are amazing. I love them, but you should ignore them until you unlock and max out, almost max out at the very least, all the characters in the League Store, because the characters are far more important. Also, why is this taking so long to load? There we go. You have a couple of characters here. First of all, Atrocitus, Red Hood, and Reverse Flash are good characters, but you should not worry about it at all for now. So order of priority is going to be the following. Get Kinflan Sakumen to 3 stars. Unlock him, which means unlock him. This is one of the best characters for new players to deal damage in raids and stories. He's absolute, trust me, he's the best character you're gonna have for a long time. And he's gonna remain a very good character forever. Unlock him at 3 stars. After that, look in your roster and ask yourself, do I have a Silver Dr. Fate? Because that's a must-have support character. Do I? If you don't, unlock Power Girl and get her to 4 stars because she does the same thing as Dr. Fate does. If you do have Dr. Fate, you don't need Power Girl for now, so keep going Kinflan Sakumen until let's say 5 stars and then unlock Power Girl. And Joster Green Lantern, you can unlock him whenever you feel like you need him. His passive is going to allow you to not get power drained or damaged. Actually, to not get power drained by some hazards on the ground. And there's sparkles on the ground. This man is gonna make those sparkles go away. And it's also gonna buff some characters up. But if you feel like you need him, you can unlock him. He unlocks fast at 2 stars. If not, just don't worry about him. Get King to 5 stars. Get Power Girl unlocked. Get King to 6 stars. This is the order. Or get King to 3 stars, get her to 4 stars, get King to 5 stars. Depending on if you have Silver Dr. Fate or not. But leagues are very important. You can't play Injustice Mobile and not be in a league because you're gonna lose access to one of the strongest characters in the game. But yeah, that's kind of it for this video. I don't think I can cover... there's a lot of things I could keep covering. But I'm trying to keep it brief. This was the bare minimum information I could give to give you a good start in Injustice Mobile. Hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you all in the next one if you of course decide to subscribe. Goodbye!